I used to do this thing with Irreplaceable by Beyonce where I'd sing it like I was a Disney princess. To the left, everything you own in a box to the left. In the closet, that's my stuff. Yes, if I bought it, please don't touch.
Welcome to Color Folk Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective, commentary on nerd culture. I'm your host, Lance. I got some friends with me. Chris.
Hi.
Jordan.
Yo.
And wear some very cool headphones. Malcolm.
Got the pink joints with the light up ears.
Yeah. If y'all would have seen me, y'all be very impressed. Like your swag right now is like.
Oh, they're gonna miss out on that Instagram story. Follow us on Instagram.
Yes. And first of all, I've been doing the numbers. One, I'll celebrate it here. I know I was waiting on it because now we're over the number by just a little bit. We are officially at 101 subscribers.
Yay!
And that is thanks to y'all, because started last year, I didn't think we was gonna get that far. We set a goal of 100. I thought that was like ambitious. I was like, man, I don't know, man.
I feel like I probably said it. I was like, oh, okay, you want to do 100? Okay.
I think we both looked at him like,
right. We're like, we can try. We can certainly, we can give it a good old try. That's what we
good
can
old
do.
college try, as they
But
say.
we made it. We did. We actually got to 101 subscribers. That was our goal, and I think we did it like literally at the end of the year. So it was like literally like a week before the end of the year. And we have loftier, bigger goals. This year, we are attempting to get 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube. Share this pod with folks that you are having these conversations with. We all have nerd friends, blur friends, weeb friends, cosplay friends, everybody in between that just watches everybody else do that. Say what?
I thought you said weed friends.
I mean,
like,
a lot of podcasts like anime too.
None of my business. I guess that's legal on the West Coast. So if you're in the West Coast,
Legal in a lot of places.
Live your life. Shout out to our supporters. We are on episode 51. We halfway through 100. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's not something that I expected to say. Like, that means we've been doing a lot of talking about
We have
anime.
been doing a lot of talking for a while too.
Yeah.
A couple years.
But I'm so glad to be doing it with these folks. 51 episodes, 101 subscribers, and we just getting started. We're just starting our takeover of whatever this is. But let's get into our very first conversation. But I follow this guy on TikTok, and I've been following him because he's had a very interesting story about a comic book / animation company, black owned, him and his wife, Manuel Godoy. Black owned? Says Black Sands. I'm assuming you black, even though the name is questionable. Your PLC family. Shout out to you. Right. Because I do want to get an interview from you one day. But I've been following him for some time because he's had a very interesting perspective, and I've been seeing him just on behind before even what we're talking about today, just raising awareness and raising funds for his company to publish other artists and other people of color to be in spaces that we typically aren't when doing these kind of things. So Black Sands, their brand's mission is of inclusivity and to educate people on Black history and culture through their work. And so they literally have animated comic books and or comics, drawn mangas and stuff geared towards like essentially Black history or Black kind of mythology and stuff like that, which is, like I said, that stuff is super intriguing to me. So recently went on Shark Tank, secured a investment deal with Mark Cuban and Kevin Hart, and you just corrected me on this, $500,000 for a 30% stake, which is
30% high.
Look,
30% high.
That's fine, but you said 500,000. I'm trying to think about my salary.
And not only that, but I mean, when you drop Kevin Hart's name and his level of success in the entertainment industry into that, like,
I mean, into a TV show, into a comic book. Does that mean as much?
But I think
they're going to pivot into a TV show.
Yeah, but if they abandon I was talking about this a little bit, that I don't think it's wise for them to abandon the comic book space so early on in their journey.
So so we're clear on this too. You're saying that you feel like the influence from Kevin Hart and Mark Cuban
I think it'll make them
push them away
quickly
from their original kind of.
No, they've been doing it for like 3 years, ain't they?
I know, but I'm thinking about, because I think everybody thinks about like, the Marvel success or like the bigger comic book ones that have been doing it forever, but like remembering like they didn't do anything media in that type of way for a while.
It worked for Invincible.
But Invincible came from like a large house though. What was Invincible?
It was
it was an independent comic, but I think it was published by a large house. Was it Image? Who did Invincible?
So. Does Image still exist? I think it was. If it still exists, it was probably them.
Publisher was Skybound Entertainment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Who's
under Image?
Who is a big company.
So like they're from a big company, so they had all the kind of.
How much do you think a lot of is, Chris?
Yeah, I mean the people that buy comics, especially nowadays, is such a small percentage of fans.
I almost look at
money on comics.
I almost look at like comics as people invest slightly more than people invest in like vinyl records. People invest in comics.
It's a niche group of people that buy comics, like actually buy hard book copies.
Well, they do a lot of their stuff digital.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which takes advantage of the webtoon-ish type of.
But then you have to have like subscription services or like
right.
I mean,
a website where you're collecting fees somehow.
They do.
Yeah. I will say
One Piece wasn't going for a long time before
they animated, but it became popular before they animated.
What I will say, so I guess we'll pivot after this too. It's like after these kind of 2 points, or after I'll present 2 more questions in this. Kevin Hart did say from his mouth during the Shark Tank episode that he was aware of how big anime was blowing up, that, especially in Black communities and stuff like that. And so I do think that they're leaning towards, hey, if you're gonna be making animes and stuff like that, with my production company, that's what we're gonna be putting a lot of. I guess my question is that a bad? I know you say staying away from comics that's one way to look at it, but is it a bad thing for them to lean into animation and lean into all the different resources that Kevin Hart and them will provide for him? What happened to my voice?
That's that COVID. I feel I guess my primary thing is like, even when I think about the success of Marvel and DC, when I think of the success of anime and stuff like that, all of that was born of their source material, which started in comics and in manga. And so you have, even though you have, well, in some respects, you have like the losing money or not as much money type of fan base. What usually happens is when that fan base is strong and supportive, they're what drives the popularity when you go into an animated space. Yeah. People will watch you. Oh, y'all got to make sure y'all catch the anime that's coming out because, like in the source material, it's like this and that or whatever. And it's a really, really good story. I'm vouching for this. And then people go that route. A lot of Marvel stuff.
Kevin Hart can say that.
Yeah, and I guess
the same effect.
So, and my question with that too is like some of that source material, especially you refer to Marvel. Yeah, some of that source materials live for a really long time amongst comic book fans. Right. Like, does it matter? Will it matter for a newer company?
Some stuff didn't have long comic book runs and were popular. Like
all the stuff like Miles Morales,
all the stuff that used to come on MTV, like Aeon Flux and
Max. You're right.
Savage Dragon was a Saturday morning cartoon. It didn't have a long run. Yeah. Spawn on HBO. Like they do that, and that's when comic books were popular. Comic books ain't popular now.
No, they're not.
It's not gonna pop off like that. Yeah. Especially it's because it's an actual comic. Actual comics aren't as popular as manga right now. So it's not gonna pop off like that. Like if they want to make money, they need to go the animated route.
My follow-up question is with the direction of Black Sands, and I told we talked about what their aim and focus is. How important is that to especially the nerd space, the blur space for folks receiving that kind of. So like, obviously we're all in a few different Facebook groups and stuff like that, and everybody is. It's like I ain't gonna say that phrase. I'm just gonna say dream of folks to experience real Black comics and anime and stuff like that. Like, how important is what Black Sands doing to the space, or is it important at all? Not important at all. Like, what are y'all's perspective on that?
I mean, I think it's super important because, when you think about like manga and why it's so popular, it's because most manga has some sort of either origin or emphasis on some sort of Japanese mythology in some way, shape, or form. And so you think about it like you're talking about with like a company like Black Sands, where they're focusing on like the Black mythos that exists in the world. I mean, there's rich, like from everywhere, all different parts of Africa, all everywhere, like rich African history and things you can tap into, and like stories from, pre and post slave trade, of Black culture and Black history. And so like it's part of the reason anime and manga is so great is because you get the culture along with the fantastical stories. Yeah. So I feel like with Black folks, that's one thing that Black folks are always asking for is like, where is this for where we come from? Like our stories, people that look like us, act like us, think like us, talk like us. Yeah. Where are our stories that are in this medium? So I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
Agreed. I feel like it's one of those things where there's always a point to be made when people talk about like, stop begging them to, change what's already been.
Exactly.
We want something new. We want our own. Like, we don't want borrowed. We don't want secondhand. We want our own. And this is one of those things that really taps into the idea of that, where it's like creating new stories and creating new characters for people to be able to like dive into. And like, I still think that it's important to like correct wrongs kind of thing. Yeah.
There's a difference between correcting wrongs and like trying to make Superman Black.
Yeah.
That's true. There, it's crazy. It's I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and so the last 3 seasons of Doctor Who has been the first woman Doctor, and it's kind of sad because it's suffered not because a woman Doctor, it's just because the stories suck, and so what happens is when you try to. Well, I ain't gonna say that this is what the guy Chris Chinball, who was the main story writer of this turn. That's his name.
That's quite a name.
Does he have English, a very large clef and it looks like 2 balls on his chin?
He's got the pronounced butt chin.
I'm not making any of these statements. But the issue is when people try to check boxes like that, they're gonna miss. They're going to guarantee to miss something in a story, or they're gonna write a terrible story because they need everything to fit around. And I think that's one of my big concerns about this is kind of like devil's advocate is I really, 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 really hope, and I know because I've seen a couple of comics from Black Sands, I really, 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 really hope that it's not a hyper focus on Egyptian mythology.
Yeah.
Like
the Hoteps. Don't let the Hoteps out.
I'm tired. I am tired. Exhausted.
You gonna give them a history lesson about about what or actually it's just a directional lesson.
Yeah.
Because what's East Coast, what's West Coast?
Yeah.
Which coast is closest to certain other land masses?
I have bad news for y'all Hoteps out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't know how many people know this. And I've done a I think you've done a genealogy test recently as well or whatnot. And it's like, I don't know about y'all, like my joint said that I was like 40% Nigerian. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's 30, 40, like it's pretty high. Like, so like and that means that my folks, when they came over, they likely settled in Virginia, somehow made their way wherever they are.
They settled in Virginia.
Yeah, right.
We're settled.
They were settled in Virginia. That's what it said.
You've been reading the Texas history books.
Yeah, right. But
they came off of the boats.
You gonna settle yourself down.
Somebody carried their bags off the boats for them. No.
When they imported themselves.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Self-imported. But that's what I'm saying. That's my problem. It's like if our folks come from the Congo, so the folks come from even Ethiopia, or folks come from Nigeria, then I'm not saying that they have a huge responsibility, but I'm just saying everything isn't always
Africa,
Horus.
Egypt got all the landmarks.
Right.
It's like every Mexican is claiming to be like what is it, Incan? No, they're Mayan, right?
Yeah.
Mayan. So because the Mayans have the landmarks.
Yeah.
The other thing is the American centric blackness.
Oh my gosh.
So like where
it's always
it focuses on what race is like for American black people rather than like the diaspora.
There's
other black people out there loving themselves.
There's a show right now.
Like the Irish black experience is different from the British black experience.
Scottish,
is different from
which is
French.
fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, when you read stories of like European black folks and like
and also
how
South
they
Africa
associate
got
with
its
their
own
blackness, it's
yeah,
dope.
some of them are like racism ain't that big of a deal. Like it's like it made a little bit of a difference, but not that it didn't actually
commodify it in a lot of
yeah.
Yeah, like they feel discriminated
But like
against,
no,
but
like
they
all the
live
black
with-
people here, we immigrated, like for real, like we chose to be here. Like sorry
Like,
about the whole shit thing
like,
for y'all,
right.
but
that's
that's
my
not my
whole
story.
family. Like let me
Everybody wants
That's
these
real.
black people want to take cruises. They're a disgrace.
I'm crying.
I'm moving on. We're moving on to the next topic about these LA.
Last time we got on a boat.
That's not right.
Moving on.
You like
LAPD
boats a little
officers-
bit too much for me, brother.
This is from Kotaku, our trusted source about, and I'm gonna read the story because this is funny. LAPD officers fired for ignoring robbery to play Pokemon Go. First of all, okay, rather than assist a fellow officer, these cops were in pursuit of a Snorlax. That's hilarious. 2 officers of the LAPD were fired due to, among other things, whatever that means, playing a Pokemon Go, a newly published court document reveals. Luis Lozano and Eric Mitchell, they were definitely people of color. B cops with a combined 28 years on the job were found through a 2017 investigation to have ignored.
They old and
They were newbies, right?
No, listen, they ignored a commanding officer's request for assistance in handling an in-progress robbery at a nearby Macy's. I'm going to read this last part. Rather than respond, the 2 left the area in hopes of capturing Snorlaxes and Togetics in Pokemon Go. I think I said that right. This decision caught by the digital in-car video system, the dash cam, as well as attempts to lie about their actions, ultimately led to officers fired from
Did
the
you hear about the last? No. When I said that I almost had her, I was talking about like sometimes when you do the picture, like they fight back. You know what I mean? And I was like, are they serious right now?
Them trying to justify it was the best part. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, just take y'all L. Like, you guys got caught.
Sorry about that.
You got caught. Like,
I'm glad you didn't die in the line of duty because we didn't show up.
Exactly.
Don't know what you needed backup for. I hope it wasn't a serious situation.
I mean,
can you imagine?
There were beat cops, which means that they likely didn't see a lot of serious action anyway.
Right.
Like, you know, they're just roaming the
They're
strip.
probably
They
like,
low key
you don't
probably
need
did that
backup.
regularly.
They hate their
They were playing
supervisor.
Pokemon Go every day. Like,
This had to be like a
they
That's
just
some
have-
Super Troopers type stuff.
yeah, they just happened to get caught that one day.
Some Reno 911 type shit.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that meeting was when they got brought in to talk about that? Especially because there's video evidence
I
inside
can't believe
the car.
they let the dash cam record them.
Yeah, like, and you can't lie your way out of sitting inside your car and there's video of
Insane.
you playing Pokemon in your car.
That's
Like-
not what I imagined dash cams were supposed to capture. I thought they were supposed to capture like injustices or.
Yeah, no, they do both because they've always had the
in-car ones.
Right.
No, I'm
Yeah.
Because
saying
you always
I
see
just
the
didn't know
video
that
like the
it
whoever
was.
in the back seat.
Yeah. Those are funny. But
Oh,
no, yeah.
man.
I can imagine
I
that
miss
meeting was
cops. I miss
uncomfortable.
show cops.
My question to y'all is like, I know I could judge them completely. Have y'all ever done the same thing? Y'all ever watch anime on a job, stream something on the job, or play games on the job, either got caught or didn't get caught. Huh?
You want us to answer that?
I guess you don't have to currently answer. I'll go first. Yeah. I'll be vulnerable. So I used to work for... Well, actually, yeah, I used to work for the state. That's all I'll say.
And you had a government job.
Yeah, that was great. Because like I did the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like I was doing anything that needed real mental brain power. And so I literally have 2 screens like Chris does. And I would have my like, you know, my cases and stuff and my call system on this side and like Netflix or whatever on this other side. It literally just be, or actually I couldn't stream Netflix on the computer. I'd have like my phone, like literally post it up and I'd be like on the phone while talking to people about cases and stuff like that. Like, okay. Yeah. Never, I mean, one time, like, it's my supervisor, super cool. One time I came by, she's like, well, just don't let the other supervisor see it. I don't really care what you're doing because you're doing your job. So I guess it is what it is. I was like, cool, I appreciate it.
I feel that way. I let some of my I let some of my team like one of them, like she's writing like thank you cards or whatever, like she'll like put something on and put the headphones in her ear or whatever, and I'm like, that's fine, you're writing the same message over and over and over again. Like I don't care.
It's mundane.
Right. But I don't know if I've ever gotten caught like a you're not supposed to be doing that kind of caught before. Like somebody was like, I'm gonna need you to turn that off.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten caught like that before. I've like read manga on my lunch break or like played a show while I was doing like data entry type stuff. Like after everybody left the office or something, FaceTime my sister.
Sure.
Or something, but like not like get in trouble.
I can't talk to family while I'm at work. Like
no,
I can't either. Like my dad will call me. Like he'll call me like because he'll call me while he's at work while I'm at work. I'm like, bro, it's like 9 a.m. and I'm at church.
You said he's like a trucker, right?
Yeah, he like drive or submit trucks, but like I can't pick up calls from me. I'm just gonna call you back because you gonna want to talk about hour, and we're gonna be talking like how we talk to each other, and it's gonna be weird for people around me. So, which is is what it is.
No, I have a funny story, and it's actually a Pokemon Go story. Funny enough. So I didn't get in trouble. But I was on the verge of getting in trouble. But I had some insider knowledge, so I was able to get out before I got in trouble. So I used to work for one of the biggest staffing companies in the world, and their headquarters is here in Milwaukee. And I was working on a team, and it's one of those things where it's a very high volume job. So like, you're on the phone pretty much all day looking for candidates trying to staff jobs.
Yeah, and
so you really don't have time to be playing Pokemon Go, but this is right after Pokemon Go came out, like peak Pokemon Go craze. Yeah. So like we were literally put up the playing
signs about like
we were literally playing every day. Like we had a group chat, which we got busted for. We had a group chat where all we did was just talk about Pokemon Go. And there was probably like 30, 40 people in that chat.
That's
like
intense.
from like 2 or 3 different different departments. It was dope. And like we would like coordinate our breaks to go outside and play Pokemon Go with each other.
Yes.
And we would like play over our lunch breaks. Like we probably exchange a few thousand messages a day in that group.
Just about Pokemon Go.
Just about Pokemon Go. Like memes, hating on each other's teams, because I'm Team Instinct. Hating on each other's teams. I know you hating ass niggas in here. It was your face, Chris. It gave you away. You're just a hating ass nigga in
I played Pokemon Go for like 3 days and I was over it.
I never played it. I've never played it.
Never played it. What?
Chris.
I feel like you would like it.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. No, it requires you to go outside. Chris would not like that.
That's true. Chris don't be outside like that. So anyway, so we're in this chat. So this chat was going for probably a month or more, 2 months maybe. Like we were in it. And
so why didn't y'all just exchange phone numbers and have like
that's too much work. And I ain't trying to give my phone number out to these randos at work.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like you.
We're not
like
cool,
that.
right?
We're just playing the same game.
We're playing Pokemon Go at work, cool, but we're not hanging out.
Social media.
You play Call of Duty with us.
Yeah, we're not. We're not hanging out outside of work.
I'm not about to ball with you after this.
Yeah, right. Like I'm not gonna see you after work.
How your family's doing?
Right. We're not actually friends. So So it had been going for a long time, and like it had started to lose a little bit of interest. Like some people had started to drop out, but I think what was happening is people were getting in trouble, and so they were leaving quietly. And so I just remember one day somebody messaged me like privately, and they were like, "Hey, you need to leave that group ASAP because senior leadership has found out about it." And
this sounds like some EA type stuff.
Yeah,
like
so right, like getting HR involved, level trouble. And so I like literally that second I dropped what I was doing and I popped out that group. And I'm glad I did because the next day there was just like they were like cycling people in and out of the office talking to people about that group. And I was just like, ooh.
Somebody
I dodged a bullet. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody snitched. Or somebody's supervisor caught them like
or
over
they
the
told
shoulder.
they liked you, so they told you before they snitched
They
up
be like, hey,
everybody.
yo,
No, yeah, right.
said,
That might have been it. Yeah,
they're like
the corporate weasel.
I can't even. I'm not gonna do that. No, never mind. I just feel like focusing on work is overrated.
We're at work 8 hours a day, anyways.
That's what I'm like.
Like if you have actual work from me, I'll gladly do it
Without a doubt.
But don't fuss at me for.
You know what I used
not
to hate?
doing nothing because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, you know what? I used to hate a lot lower level working. So like when you grow up and you work at fast food or you work in a restaurant, and it's like that thing of if you're not moving around and looking busy, then you're not earning the dollars that you're making. And I'm like,
I'd be like, ain't nobody in this motherfucking store
at all. Like, yo,
can I sit down somewhere? I've swept, ate nothing in returns. Listen, like there's nothing to do.
Yes.
For you want me to fold the shirts again?
Yeah.
Then fold it.
Could you reshop? You take this whole shop and get out my face. Like, what do you mean, reach? That was when you had to fold everything back up.
You know what's funny though? Usually they're more okay if you chat with people. Like if you're like talking to other people, like it's fine, but you can't do other shit.
I used to go to other stores and talk to people in their store.
I'm tearing up.
I used to work at Bayshore. Pop in.
Y'all used to know everybody.
Because that's what we used to do.
I did used to work everywhere, didn't I?
We used to work at the Subway in the Grand. Me and a couple of friends. That was just nonsense because it wasn't nothing to do. It was only busy during lunch.
Well,
so you're like,
my working in the mall was Bayshore.
Was never a busy mall.
Right.
Well, I didn't work in the building part of Bayshore. I worked in one of the outside stores. So we didn't have that experience.
I worked in the building, so I talk to whoever.
Yeah, I never worked at a mall, but I worked at Best Buy.
Yeah, pop in the Forever One, talking to Forever 21.
Best Buy.
Auntie Annie, see if I can get a free pretzel. I knew somebody in the Buddy Squirrel.
Yeah, we used to trade subs with other food in the food court. That was like other like certain. Employees.
One of the girls at Rockies liked one of my employees. So I'm like, bro, see if you can get us a piece before they close up. Man.
Facts. Because all you gonna do is throw it away anyway. I'm not gonna waste my subs. Might as well get something out of it. Anyways, that's funny. Before we move on,
subs for subs. That's Lance's new.
That's the new logo. That's the slogan. Hop on our Discord. That's where the conversations are happening. They've been happening throughout the holidays.
Yeah.
We was arguing this morning.
Digimon slander.
I didn't even know what I got myself into.
These hating ass niggas.
So if you want to be a part of
they tagged me in something like, "Hey, want to watch Digimon with us?" I'm like,
"Well, we watched."
Because you changed a couple letters, is different than Pokemon. Come on,
bruh.
Yo, but like
that's just like
I know that's
S grade level of blasphemy out here, like Wagyu beef blasphemy.
Like I said, it's not necessarily that I hate it. I haven't watched it, so I can't hate it.
I think I've seen
but
like
you
two
do,
episodes of it.
I think it's nostalgia.
So I'm trying to encourage people to actually hop in our Discord. Not go away and feel like they're going to be bullied for watching different.
Chris will bully you.
Don't ask me if I will watch fucking Digibot.
Because somebody has
that sounds like hate.
No, I got like a little hate before her in our next topic, but
they're gonna tell me they didn't like the show. I know they are.
We'll get there. It's not really that.
Cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Hop in our Discord. Just listen. We have Facebook groups, Color Folk and Anime. Hop in that joint. You see conversations, you see great memes. It's literally your whole day, and you're gonna be laughing.
Videos,
Yes, great. Without a doubt, and it's gonna bring life and joy to you. Subscribe if you laugh one time during this entire video, you have to subscribe. It's by default. You can't, because you're probably gonna keep laughing if you like the humor that we have, because you're gonna be like, this is stupid. Well, I'm kind of stupid too, and we're all stupid laughing at stupid stuff.
Stupid is, stupid does.
The more I laugh, the faster I subscribe.
Facts. Let's talk about ranking
Your
the king.
sweatshirts.
Oh yes. First of all, where did these come from?
We on game.
I got them for Christmas.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, show them the back.
Yeah, the
Show
back
'em
is stuff too.
Show them the back.
It's from Black Anime Podcast. So
Yes.
they're like a page, like I found them on Instagram. And so they have like
Can
a
we put
listing.
like their thing or whatever?
Yeah. They have like a listing of like all these different podcasts done by like with Black people or like people of color or whatever. So they have like over 100 different different podcasts that they have listed on there. They also have a super fire playlist on Spotify for some reason.
Really?
And merch.
We gotta drop that link. We gotta drop that
Yes.
link.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got those for them. For
Yeah,
I
these
wonder
are
if we
fire.
can,
and it's mad comfortable too.
I wonder if whoever those owners, whoever run that, I wonder if we can get them on the show. That'd be super cool, even
That
if
would
it
be
was
fun.
remote. That'd be super dope because
Yeah.
these are fire and they are
Yeah.
super comfortable.
yeah.
Sometimes, like when you have sweaters like these, they fit oddly.
Well, mine's a hoodie because I like hoodies.
Yeah,
so.
mine's
Yeah.
a crew, but like sometimes you gotta worry about crews. It's either I don't mind it being too thick, but I don't like it when it feels like American Apparel
You're a
almost.
crew neck.
You know what I mean?
You're
Like-
a crew neck guy.
Yeah,
That's why
I'm
I
a
got
crew-
you the crew
Yeah,
neck.
but I don't like feeling
You
like I
got
need
a
to
hoodie.
model it. I like
Too.
feeling like it's comfy. I love it.
Hey.
Unless the person that tried the shoes in the store run across the store.
Be
Let me
doing
stretch
jumps.
out of this. Let me stretch out of this. I feel fast.
I should. I don't, but
Real
I should. Because, like, Lord knows, man.
I am speed.
Let's talk about ranking of Kings, an anime that we all watched this past week.
Yeah.
It is a coming of age fantasy comedy, originally written by, I'm gonna butcher this too, Sosuke Toka, and it's published by Echoes, and it is the anime is also where's that studio coming out of Wit Studio, licensed by Funimation, and it has 13 episodes so far. Second season is coming soonish.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
this
it's
is the
already
second
third
half
season,
of
I
it.
think.
I think that's 12 and 13. I think are part of season 2.
Yeah.
I think.
Or like
Yeah.
part 2 of
Yeah,
season
right.
Yeah,
1.
the
right.
Crunchyroll
That
has it on
holiday
there
break
weird.
be
So.
like
Yeah. You know when they change the opening that it's
that is the next.
Yeah.
it's the
For
next
sure.
thing.
Yeah, and I'll say, man, that second opener is much better than that first
I like the
opening.
first one better actually.
The first opening was essentially Tokyo Avengers remix.
The first one sounds like a Maroon 5 song.
That's what the Tokyo Avengers one sounds the exact same,
yes, it does,
like Maroon 5-ish with the piano and
I'm
the
digging it.
poppy voice. I didn't
I
mind
think
that.
Unlike
Just
the
like-
new opening for Attack on Titan, where I have
so
everybody
I-
like.
The
yeah.
head banging.
I haven't actually listened to it yet because I'm reserving
No?
until I want to watch it
feel
when I
like I'm
watch the
watching-
show.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like,
okay,
I wanna
okay.
experience
I'll say
it
no
live,
more.
you know,
I'll say
like-
no more.
I don't want to
Yeah,
experience it
The
beforehand.
intro sounds like Metapocalypse. That used to come on Adult Swim. That's what I feel like I'm watching.
So this story, ranking of kings, and I'll read the synopsis, and then I'll kind of get to what I kind of got from it, and so we can start our discussion. The story is about a little prince named Boji, who's a deaf mute, but above all naive. But despite his many dumplings and many criticisms from his people about his accession to the throne, he does his best and dreams of becoming the greatest of kings. He also has a homeboy, Kage, who's the last of the Shadow clan. So I think so, and I told y'all this before too, so I'm like kind of repeating this, but I've been listening to this podcast that talked about narrated the actual origin stories of all like the Disney stuff, so Snow White and the Cinderella, like the real stories, which are much darker and much like they're like
just trauma all around.
Yeah, without a doubt. And to the point where I'm like, are y'all even teaching us anything?
I mean,
but this is just hurtful.
All the stories and nursery rhymes from back, like
without a doubt,
like that.
Yeah, like meant to scare children to go to bed at night.
Yeah. And the only reason I bring it up is because when I watched the show and when I started watching it, and I'll tell you my beef. I'll tell my beef with you a little bit later. But when I started watching the show, it felt like that tone of like a dark fairy tale nursery rhyme. Like it was like, wait, this nothing here is right. Like nothing here is like neat. There isn't anything that lines up really well. And with that, I'm like, well, and it does, like I told you, it's not like shonen or anything like that has all the bells and whistles or lures you in with like amazing characters, flashy and great fights, flashy fights and stuff like that. And so I'm like, well, what are they trying to bring our attention to? And I guess that starts like my first question. Like, do you feel like in watching this that this show was trying to teach you something, or that you could drew some sort of lessons from it? Because I felt like they did, but I wonder what y'all perspective was from it. Or do you feel like it was purely entertainment?
Purely entertainment. It gives me Game of Thrones vibes.
Explain that.
So it's a lot of Game of Thrones vibes.
I mean, I haven't watched this up. No.
Oh, you haven't watched any Game of Thrones stuff? So you got the jackass kid prince. You got the sickly kid who's like somewhat the real heir. Like you got and he got a little sword, a little needle sword, and her nickname for Arya Stark's nickname for her sword was Needle. Like, yeah, it's like a whole bunch of just little parallels like that. Not like actually like storyline really, but just little things that end up being the same. So, but as far as like, but like Game of Thrones is also not really trying to teach you anything. It's just
don't trust anybody.
People do bad shit,
pretty much.
So it's just a story where people are being people, like manipulative and tricky, and some people persevere, some people don't. Yeah, they're usually looking out for their own interests for the most part. I think it's just a story where it's not really any lessons. It's just people are shitty, like when left to their own devices. Yeah, usually.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's part of it. The whole like people are messed up and only look out for themselves kind of bit. But at the same time, like obviously with Boji's story, and then like as you go further along, you know, when you're learning more about his backstory and his family, like it has a lot to do with like self-confidence, like believing in yourself. Believe it. The friendship no jutsu vibes. But so it has a lot to do with like self-confidence, you know, because obviously the prince is struggling with the fact that he's deaf and he's mute, and he's also incredibly small for his age and his size, especially considering both of his parents are giants, and he's a shrimp. You know, he's tiny. You know,
she popped that thing out and said, any little.
Yeah, it was like a little bean in her hand.
Like this don't feel right.
Right.
I mean, it's fine, but
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, like last time I checked,
we both kind of big, right?
I ain't never had no baby before, but I feel like
this ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't like the other.
I didn't even know this came out.
How did the blind child happen?
That's the new mom.
See, no, but you didn't get the
you didn't
get the question.
Okay.
Anyway,
Ew.
so yeah,
I hate you. Get out of my house.
I mean, it's a valid question. So yeah, I mean, I feel like with the whole self-confidence bit, like he has to come to his own realization that like obviously people aren't going to accept him because he's different, but he has to be okay with that, and he still wants to be king regardless of that.
Yeah.
And then he got Kage.
He was like,
he
sure
was
Dad
disappointed.
Said I was supposed to be king. What the fuck is going on?
I was so mad. I was mad for him.
Yeah, and then
these motherfuckers.
They did, bro. They shiesty, bro. They stole that mug right off from under him.
You in the ponytail, nigga.
Fuck him, man.
Who are you talking about?
The sword master. His trainer.
Oh my gosh. I thought he was actually, you know what's crazy? So this is why I talk about the lessons thing. So I think about so Boji's little brother is Daida.
Yeah.
Right, Prince Daida. And what I like about Prince Daida is as he's starting to realize that he's trash.
He got played.
He also realized that the trainer is trash because it's like, why are you gassing me up? Like,
right?
You're my
Ain't you
brother's
supposed
trainer.
to- right.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
like
that part of the story made me not really dislike him.
Yeah, because he got it. He understood it. He's like,
he's like, you and your ponytail, the bitch ass nigga.
because he's like, look, he's like, I understand why I don't like my brother and what my issues are.
Right.
There's no reason why you should be
Right.
trying to side with me and gas me up like I'm supposed to be where I'm not supposed to be. Like this doesn't belong to me. How did I even get here? You know what I mean? But I think that's why I push back on like
but when his daddy was like, guess I got another body.
That was nuts.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I think,
Yeah.
and I don't know, because when he first came out, he didn't play like that was his intention.
No, he didn't.
The dad.
No, he didn't. He
looks
died
like he was planning
dying.
like to die.
Yeah, he
I
was.
think what's interesting to me was like he was kind of like the dad in, typical anime trash ass dad. But what he did was
shonen.
he kind of
shonen, right.
he kind of set it up where it was like, if the cards fall in the right place, the cycle will end. But if they don't, I'll live again. I didn't do it on purpose. But by the time I got to end, I was like, oh, that's nice. That was nice. Anyway.
She's not a rapper though.
But she's not a rapper.
I'm not.
Can't even rap a gift.
Super hot fire.
Shut up, Malcolm. No, but it was like it was like he set it up where it was like, I mean, if everybody do what they supposed to do, like if you feel like second wife is worth protecting, why don't you go protect her?
Right.
But also like, I'm not gonna like lay off the punches.
Yep.
For anything. Like if the bitch dies, she dies. I hope you got strong enough in these last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I just feel like he's ass.
For the dad, I don't know if the dad is total ass.
I don't know if
I don't.
he does.
I don't agree with the assessment of the dad, honestly.
He's ass because he didn't take initiative to change anything.
But that's why he's only half-ass.
Right. So, because I think the problem
because he doesn't want the bad things.
He
to
doesn't
happen.
want the bad things to happen,
just not
but he's playing
trying
like,
to prevent them.
oh no,
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
alive
outside
again.
of
What do I do?
Outside of Metal Psycho Face,
he's like
there's
Batman.
nobody who's really, you know what I'm talking about. Metal Psycho Face, the guy that shut stuff down like Drake at the mall. He came in the village and was like, I am probably going to kill everybody here unless somebody comes before me. But like, I think outside of the evil people that came from that the Miranjo brought from the underworld, nobody was purely bad, including the dad. Everybody just
agree with that.
Made really, including the sword master, including the
second queen.
Yeah, like
dude,
she
painted her in a really bad light at first, and then they were like, ha, psych, 180. She's actually cool.
Right.
Like
she's like the bestest mom.
Right. She just wanted to be cool with him.
Right.
Like she wanted to win
well,
Stepmom
even
of the Year
her
awards.
wanting her other son to be king wasn't because it was like, I want my son to be king. It was like, no, like Boji can't. He can't. Like that's one thing I think is interesting because you like that's a thing with parents with that have kids with disabilities is finding that line between helping them when they need help and stopping them from doing things where it's like they can't.
Sounds
you just
like a lesson.
And what is it, Nemo?
Sounds like a
Finding
lesson.
Nemo?
Yeah.
Message.
But like in Finding Nemo, where it's like you just can't do these things, Nemo, and it's like, well, I mean, he can. Like, stop coddling the kid. But like, she had that same mentality where it's like, no, he's deaf and mute, and so he can't. Like, he just can't. Whatever it is, he can't do it.
She ripped up the wheel. She said, this wheel is...
Right. No. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, right.
She don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It was like, but it's
not
a wheel.
My Boji.
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, it has to be amended. I don't know what you're talking about. This obviously he was out of his mind. But yeah.
Bitch ass voted the other way.
Right. No, I feel like it's like
sorry. He hated me so much. A whole damn show.
He was trash. They're gonna try to redeem him, but I think I'm always gonna hate him.
Oh, that was another Game of Thrones.
You threw a baby down a fire hole.
Because the best swordsman in Game of Thrones.
That's like, and then he gonna act like when he came back when he was alive, like he was happy with that. Like he. Like in
I'm
that
so
moment when you
happy that I didn't kill him.
When you texted us, and when he pushed him in the hole, and then he like started like cry laughing. Don't cry now. You was like, "Get your ass up, bro."
Yeah,
you know what you did.
Like that's how y'all are. That's how everybody is about Sasha on Attack on Titan. It's it's fine. No, you're not forgivable. Nothing you do from this point will ever be forgiven.
Gabby.
Ever.
Gabby killing Sasha.
Gabby killing Sasha. I was like,
no.
Gabby's never. I don't care what you do. I don't care how relatable you are.
Gabby is Aaron. Huh?
I don't care.
She's that's true though.
Trash.
That's true.
Gabby is
but
Aaron.
Also, Aaron ain't shit either. So
that's what but that's how I feel about the trainer guy. But so let's get to the
and Snape's. I thought you was giving me Snape's vibes from the very beginning.
Somebody was.
You mean like Harry Potter Snape?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just watching a Harry Potter special. I just wanted to make sure she's on the same page.
I know. I feel like for me, I feel like the moral of the story. I don't know if there's a moral, but the idea of like everybody has their own motivations, right?
Yes.
Like people don't just do things; they're motivated to do things. So it's like it's almost more focused on the more than the story itself. There's a story to be told that's happening, but the most important thing about the show is the characters, who they are, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. And it focuses so much on people's whys. And so it's like you start like first you're just seeing what people do and then they start digging into the why. Yeah. And it's like nobody is just doing shit to be bad. Like the Snake Man, you end up finding out like, oh, I had this impression of him by what he was doing, but now that I understand his motivations, I have a different idea about who he is.
They keep
the
doing
same
that
with the
all
mom.
the characters.
Yes. You think you know who she is, and then you find out her why, and then you're like, oh, okay, I was wrong. So maybe it's like a first impressions ain't shit. Your perceptions of other people don't fucking matter.
Or I like when Kage was talking to his mom, like, Mom, I heard we like kill people. She's like, yeah, I kill plenty of niggas.
She was like, yes,
every day, B.
She like, we're actually something in us makes us good at that. I don't know what it is.
Like, so when we get wiped out, we deserve it.
It's in our genetics. It's just like
fruit snacks every day because I kill niggas. That's where
they
come from.
Live the best until they come
for us. We live by the sword, we die by the sword, and you know that's how it goes.
That's just what it is. Let's speak about our favorite moments. And speaking of, first of all, we ain't gonna talk about how. Okay, so
Kage mama died.
Kage,
that was messed up.
I don't know what better way to put it. Like, so I don't understand how the story starts with Kage robbing Boji.
Because that's what he did.
Because they had to show you how fucking pure-hearted Boji is.
For a straight episode, I'm like, he's getting naked, bro. Like he's stripping him. Like he's.
You know what it reminds me of too? Emperor in his new clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for with that.
Yes. But like I think I'm like that was, but it was also a favorite moment just because I did like being able to get Kage's backstory, and you kind of realize that like Boji. Sure, like even in that synopsis, like he's not that naive. Yeah, he has like a sense of emotional IQ where he knows
home crying because it's like, I can fucking read lips, bitch.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You don't gotta move your fingers. I know what you're fucking saying.
They're like, how does he know? So you don't think I would have picked up on it this whole time?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I was like, he knows what you're saying. Shut up.
Yeah, but no, I think that Kage moment was great because it was like he's robbing this guy for like a whole episode.
The Kage moment that was great was after he got pushed off the cliff.
Oh yeah, and he saved him. Yeah, he shot the crossbow.
He's like, nigga, I've been with you the whole time.
Yeah, that was fire.
Was like,
oh, Kage, real one. And they showed all the things they did. To like help him out. I'm like,
yeah, that's true.
I love that.
That was a good. That was
I
good.
I wasn't leaving, nigga. And then they dapped up. No.
Yeah.
That was super cute.
Yeah, that was good.
I feel like Kage is the catalyst for what I was saying too, because he's the guy that's like, this bitch ass nigga is easy to steal from. Then he follows him home and he's like, oh, he's such a sweet boy. He understands what's going on.
Well, I forgot his real name. The snake dude, when he was talking to the prince, he's like, look at this person. He's like, man, if I was like that, I'd kill. Oh, so you've using your little brother position. You'd off yourself already, huh?
Yeah, right.
So you saying it take a strong person to keep going, huh?
Right.
Yeah, yes.
I was like,
yo, when he changed his whole perspective, and he's like, I mean, like, I wasn't like, oh, okay. He was like, oh, well, I didn't mean like that. Like, I was just like, couldn't even say nothing. Like,
but like, well, I mean, that, yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't kill myself.
I'm just saying if I was in his shoes.
But like, I meant like, it was like, you know, like, not like for real, like literally, like figuratively.
Like, no, I'll
or whatever,
keep
you know. No.
I didn't mean that.
I'm the real nigga in this situation. I don't know what you talk about.
His and Dida, I do appreciate his realization of like, man, that's my brother. Like, what am I'm on one. Like, what is all of this for anyways?
Even when he like goes like, you know what? No, I don't want my dad's power. Like,
yes,
I'm going to become a great king on my own. This isn't how it's supposed to happen, but I'm making lemonade out of lemons and I'm going to become a great king by my own power.
Yeah.
And she says, oh, that's so cute.
Psych.
Fuck him up.
Yeah, she did.
They said,
it's like, that's sweet of you.
Stall him out, Debo.
I'm mad they sent him to the same sucking place from Get Out.
That's yo, he in that darkness.
They even gave him the tea.
Like, yo, what?
When his mom was like, I can hear him.
Yeah.
And she was like, he's in there, get him out, cut it open.
Yeah.
They were like, ma'am, that's
your son's body.
That's your son. And she's like, oh, right, that's his body.
Yeah, she goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. She's probably
becomes
outside of Boji, she's my favorite. Yeah.
Towards the end of the first, like very endearing.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the fact that, and we all was waiting for it. And even though it was staged, it wasn't all a guaranteed outcome. When Boji chin checked all them guys in the bar.
He did. He put them all to sleep, bro. Like,
like
that was great.
The guy was like, I didn't really expect to get knocked out.
When at the end though, because I thought it was gonna be more Emperor's New Clothes type shit. Because after he goes to meet up with the guys in the bar, and I was like, did he trick Boji into thinking that he's powerful?
I thought that too. Yeah, I thought the same.
That's what I thought at first.
And they were like, no, this nigga, he a real one. Like,
we didn't expect to get whooped though like that.
And they were like, and when he brought out the sword, we were like, oh yeah, we done. Like,
and he was like, Kage, he can kill people.
Yep.
And Kage's like, oh, he can kill people?
Yeah.
Thought he was just going to knock
did
niggas
the little
out.
the gone face.
Oh, yeah.
The red eyes.
That's exactly what it was. That's the exact parallel. And I think, and I love it because it does mean he's going to have very significant battles in the future. And he's not just going to be like a sympathy, like a character to have sympathy on. Yeah. He won't always be powerless. He'll have like agency to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take my destiny in my fights in my own hands without having people to take up for me.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it because they've been setting up Boji to be a very specific type of fighter where he's not very powerful, but he exploits weaknesses. Like because Shinobu his weapon, exactly. Because his weapon is a rapier. And rapiers are not a powerful weapon, but they are meant for hitting very specific weak points in armor, very specific weak points on a person's body, where you'd wear the thickest armor in specific places, and a rapier is meant to get between the cracks. Yeah. So like Boji's style of fighting, where he's a counterattacker, he's a speed-based counterattacking fighter. Like a rapier is a perfect weapon for his style of fighting. Because that's a pure counterattacking weapon. Like you're not gonna beat anybody over the head with that thing.
You got trained in acupuncture.
Yeah, pretty much. He gonna give him the
tripalms, just
like
for clarification.
Points on jaws and shit.
Yeah, YouTube clarification, not raper.
Rapier.
Yeah. Rapier. It's the name
There we
of the
go.
sword. Yeah.
Pew, pew. Yes, I agree with everything you just said. I will say this too before we kind of get to like maybe least favorite stuff, but I'm gonna call him Metal Face Psycho, but I do appreciate his like when he first activates, and so
you talking about the Underlord Sword Master dude?
Yeah. Oaken, I think is his name. Or something like that.
Because he's like nobody knows what this guy is doing. They can't read his power level or anything like that.
I call him
And he
Hadouken.
just
and the guy just literally
and he sucked all of his blood in when she threw the kunai in his eyes. He was like, "No,
no, before that, like so when they're in the throne room, and the other guy that keeps king of the underworld, he's like, he's like, all right, you better run, kind of posture, and the guy's like, all right, I'm walking off because I'm about to turn up. And once I turn around,
right, yeah, exactly.
Once I turn around, it's curts for everything in here, and that's what happens. And the guy's like,
true.
What is going on? And the guy's like, I mean, if you want the crown, you can have it. And this dude's like, I just like killing people. I wasn't here for the crown.
Like,
I just
niggas
wanted
think
to
I'm
smoke.
fighting to save the day.
Right.
But
He's
really,
like,
nigga, I just want to fight.
right. He's like, all right, cool. I'll keep the crown if you don't want it. But I appreciated that scene. I always like seeing like the silent assassin come to life.
Right. And he came over like, he did.
Ooh. But no, I appreciated that 1,000%. But I'll say this before we get to, I guess, least. I didn't really have too many least favorite parts, but I'm gonna say this is my beef. You said, I'm saying this in my Jada Pickett, Shane, low down dirty Shane accent.
Oh, I thought
you
said red table.
No, not that one. We're talking about 90s
entanglements.
Entanglements. We're talking about Jada with sense.
Oh my god.
You said
she
that
right,
this
love us to dead man. She just makes us dead either.
Yes, you said this was better than I Taxi.
Did I say better?
You did. You did.
I said I like it better.
You said it was.
Yeah,
you did.
I like it better than
Don't try and back
Taxi.
out of it now.
There's
You
my
what
beef.
you said.
It's a favorite to be
Which is fair.
anime of the year.
Which is fair. It's not better than I Taxi. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's
Well,
not
only
better than
because I will
You
say
said
this.
it's in your top 3
I said it's third.
of your top 3.
Yeah,
I give it that, but
third
I'll
of
say
my
like
top 3. That's not better than our Taxi is number 1. So therefore, it's not better than our Taxi.
I would say the story is not as actually it's too expansive, so it kind of can't focus on kind of a couple of plot lines
She
like
likes
I
two
Taxi
things,
can.
so that's the
But and that
problem.
might be because it's based off of a manga.
Which is fair. Yeah. And I don't think it's like I think that
There's more story to tell than what Odd Taxi told.
right, which is good and bad. I think like because then you got to start world building and then you got to start visiting which they did. They visited every single character's motivation and in Odd Taxi, you don't have to spend as much time, on people's motivation or whatnot.
Because it's not gonna last that long either. So.
Right. So to be fair, but
no, that's not fair. No,
I still don't think it's better than Odd Taxi.
Don't even give her half a step.
I'm dying.
But that's all I got.
That shit.
Yeah, I don't have anything that stuck out that was like annoying to me, other than the fact that Kage just robbed this kid like in the middle of nowhere. And I was robbed before, so that like touched a little.
He can't come back from that.
You can't just go out. Come on, man.
Y'all can't be cool.
Like
now.
you joking around people's real trauma out here.
Like this guy robbed him naked. Like, anyways, but that's fine. It's cool. What do y'all have for least favorite stuff?
I mean, for me, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's okay. It's a good story. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just for me. It's boring. Like it's just boring. Like, and obviously because I'm a shonen guy, I like action. I like lots of things happening, and if there's not action, I want to be laughing or suffering.
Right.
So
yeah.
There's lots of suffering in this though.
But like. Yeah, but it's slow. It's a slow. I feel like it's a slow
more
burn.
emotional pain.
Yeah, it's a slow burn. And will I continue watching it after our review? Maybe. But like I don't know. For me, it's just boring. Like, and I'm not a huge fan of the animation style. Even though I know we talked about this in the Discord, it's purposefully animated like
Right.
that.
Right.
You
I
should
just
see
don't
the
really like
manga.
that. Yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
really like that. You know, I just don't like the way it looks.
Manga.
Like worse?
Yikes.
Oh, okay. See,
Like-
I'm not gonna read it.
One Punch Man, yikes.
See, I haven't read One Punch Man.
Like the what?
I had never read One Punch Man.
I have it on my shelf.
I've watched it, but I haven't read it. Let's take a peek.
Don't look too much at that shelf.
Yeah, don't look too much. You'll see something you don't want to see.
Things that I can't unsee.
No,
Yeah,
yes, that
definitely
you,
you cannot unsee. Like don't.
Like, never
Like
mind.
looking in the Ark of the Covenant and not like you will.
The wrath of God
You
will fall
will
upon me.
melt.
Anyway, no, that art is top tier art. That art is critically
She's talking
acclaimed
about
art.
like the webtoon.
The webtoon
Oh.
One Punch Man.
Oh, okay.
It's like a
Yeah.
step above stick figures.
Yes.
No,
And
for real.
Boji manga
funny.
art is a step above One Punch Man. Just
Let's
a
see. I'm
step.
trying to-
Just
I'm trying to-
one step.
I'm trying to think
Yikes.
what I didn't like outside
Yeah.
of that bitch ass nigga with the ponytail. Fuck him. Fuck him. Yeah, fuck him.
He
Pretty
didn't
much
help.
from the moment he comes on,
Ooh,
he hasn't done a
shit.
single thing that we're
No,
like, yeah, you just
and
want to say that.
initially you think he's okay though because he's I'm
it's-
tasking you to train Boji and he's trying and he's like I am trying so hard.
It's kinda
but then
funny
you
'cause they
learn
keep
of his
flipping it.
motivations and you're like this nigga
Yeah, because
ain't
they keep
shit.
flipping people that you hate initially, and then you're like, oh, damn, they're actually legit.
No,
and people
when
that you
he-
like,
we
and
know
they're
what
like,
the
no,
When,
constant
Bo-
is.
when
Yeah,
Boji
you
was
ain't there,
sparring
bro.
with his brother and
And he
getting
got
all
a
his
hard
licks
on?
in,
Yeah, bro.
and then he wanted to be like, that's not real fighting. And told him to stand there and take
Yeah,
the
bruh.
hits.
And then
Fuck
Dinah
you.
bitch ass was beating him to a bloody fucking pulp.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
like
just
he
embarrassed. I
didn't
get
just
that.
like he
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
just-
Like I get retaliation
No, he was
because
just
you
embarrassed.
got
So I
Yeah,
you got
Yeah.
chin checked by your brother.
Because he
The
thought he was gonna
facts.
just like
Yeah.
yeah, he was
One
like,
and done.
man, and then he was doing
said,
like
bitch
Psych.
ass nigga.
kendo moves out here on
Gotcha,
the
bitch.
dude.
But what was I
right.
gonna say? But I don't know if it's see, and I like the fighting in this one.
Yeah.
I like when it
'Cause it's-
actually got to the fight.
it's-
They
though.
haven't
Because
really
it's-
done that much though. That's
That's
what
what
I
I
was,
was-
but
yeah.
it's
13
like
episodes ain't done really.
But it's
anything.
like it's closer to like a real fight, where it's like you win in like 3-4 moves, like
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
moves at the most, and that's why I like it. But it's not like action, like
shown
you're
in
not gonna
action.
get really
like
like an
Dorsh's
epic
fights have been
fight.
the best fights for sure.
The best
Yeah.
action scene in there was when he threw the spear for the
Yeah.
roof.
Oh, no,
I did
No,
not
he's-
expect that.
when he speared those
And
3
that
dogs at
nigga
the
bitch
same
too,
time,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
without
him.
a
Yeah, he is.
Yo,
He is sent, bro.
no,
Without a doubt.
He's not. He
when
is sent, bro. That's
Homedog
what he
was
is.
fighting the dogs was my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
fight.
And then
That
he
was-
got bit on
Dorsh.
that.
Oh, that's Dorsh.
Lord.
Yeah, that's Dorsh.
You know I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
nobody's
Yeah,
names.
Dorsh was lit though.
That's true. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I feel you on that. We'll go. Let's go ahead and go with our.
I'm doing all the swearing. You're supposed to be doing all the swearing.
I
Chris.
swore a couple times.
Well, I'm doing more swearing than you. I can't edit these videos in front of your mother.
Let's go ahead.
Hold on, wait, quick story. I was editing them up at my office, and my mom was there. She was sitting there doing the mom thing, trying to, get conversation out of you.
Talk to me.
So she's sitting there and I'm like, Mom, if you stay here long enough, you're gonna hear your daughter curse. She's like, oh, and then she just leaves the room.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
My
Well,
poor
yeah,
parents.
I'm done.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Let's go ahead and maybe this will be quick. Diversity report card. Letter grade for diversity.
I mean, F.
I'm going F
Why F?
because the only diversity is Boji.
What?
Being
Oh,
a
being
disabled
in the
Oh,
shadow.
okay.
individual.
Sure. Well, he's a sentient shadow. That's not.
Yeah, I'm like,
diversity.
you're not about to say that that's a black part. You're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
That's
you're
not
not
what
gonna say
we're
that?
You're not gonna say that Kage is
It's not
African.
was it the spook that lived next door?
Get out.
That's the name of a real movie.
I know.
Yeah, you're not. This is what we're not gonna do.
Jesus.
See what we not gonna do.
Kage is not Candyman. We're not going there at all.
Yeah.
So no diversity for me, and I don't think it will be, and I don't think it's supposed to be, but I do think that doesn't
Yeah.
help it be. I don't think it helps entertainment value for it at all.
I feel bad because I have a different scale by which I judge diversity
What you
for
got?
different shows. So Japanese shows are for us by us, right? So
Yeah.
they're not meant to be diverse. So when I judge a Japanese show, I judge it more on how it represents any minorities present, because Japan's like a homogeneous nation. Like there
of course.
There's no diversity in Japan.
So white people,
Of course, but that's that's what I'm getting at too.
Right.
Yeah.
So like for me, I wouldn't necessarily say like, oh, ain't no niggas in here. F. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I'm judging it more based on like, okay, they have a person that's like atypical.
For sure.
How well do they represent that person? If that makes sense. For shows that I know aren't going to have cultural diversity like we hold American media to. Does that make sense? So American media is like, we're not a homogeneous nation, but for some reason, it's only white niggas in your shit. That seems odd. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, we're in space.
Yeah.
And it's only white niggas in space.
Are these Egyptians white?
Part of my issue is the fact that, like, I think about a show like, I think about this show, and I think about the fact that Boji is the only unique character in the entire show. And I'm not sure if any other character is designed to be any sort of different from one another. They're not that different from one another.
Yeah.
There's the typical good guys, typical bad guys. There's nobody that represents any particular special interest. So like even with show like Odd Taxi, which is all animals, there's diversity because of what certain people stand up for, even like, from the main character all the way down or whatnot. And I think this show, when I'm obviously you're not gonna see like just black people in these Japanese fairy tales.
Yeah. But
I'm like, well, did anybody represent any interests that are maybe alike or different or from one another? Not really. They're all just motivated, but they're all the same motivations. Other than Boji, who has all of the diversifying factors are in Boji, but in nobody else. That was my grade take, which is the F. Not because there's no Negroes in the show. So yeah,
I give it a B.
Whoa, that's high.
Do.
She don't be giving nothing that high
grades. I gave something an A the other day.
She gave Black Panther an F.
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
This movie not diverse at all.
Only black. There's only one white person in here.
No, well, I mean, in that case, like the story is contained in a kingdom, in a land space, so you don't expect for there to be a lot of
it's called a joke, Chris.
diversity.
Don't kill it, please.
Anyway, shut up, Malcolm. Shut up. Anyway, I give it a B because I think that it did a good job fleshing out like characters. Like I think it does a really good job of really showing you the different characters and who they are, especially with the bait and switch that they do with everybody.
Yeah.
This character's like this. Psych, they're actually like this. And it's because there's this like people are icebergs kind of thing. And that's kind of the thing about the show. But I think I give it a B because I think
B is high.
I don't know that I appreciate I don't think the representation in Boji being deaf and mute is like bad or anything like that. But I do kind of do that kind of like cringe thing because it's like he's small and deaf and mute because his dad took all his power away kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that. But I feel like other than that, like I feel there's like a larger world. We know we're going to see the giants and you have the shadow people or whatever.
Question.
Well, it's only one shadow person.
Do you think Boji's going to get some of his power back if his dad dies? Like
I don't
legit
know.
actually dies.
I don't know.
And they defeat that demon thing that stole his power. I kind of
hope not.
I just hope he keep chin checking people at his side.
Yeah, that'd be great. Like sleeping folks on the regular.
I kind of hope he doesn't. But I was the same at the end of like Encanto, where I was kind of like, I really don't want her to like get powers at the end of this, and she kind of does.
I kind of feel like he will
at the end of Encanto, where she gets her powers.
That was kind of annoying.
And I was like,
actually.
no.
I'm like, that's what made you unique.
Is that you didn't?
But yeah, I don't know. I do take issue with the fact that like. I'm not a part of the community of the atypical community, but I think sometimes it's a little problematic when your main person has all all the flaws, and it's
you
like
got to
they
put
have to
all
use
your
special
all of it in that one person.
Yeah, I'm like,
because he's not like autistic or anything. I feel like at first I was like, damn, deaf, mute, and like autistic.
No, he's pretty clever actually.
But he's not.
He just will never gain muscle. I'm like, this nigga gonna never get stronger.
Yeah.
Like, why would you throw that in?
Right.
Like, you can work out all you want. You ain't gonna get no strong.
Like,
what?
I was like, damn, you've been working all them years for nothing.
Right.
It was Deku. It was like the quirk. You're never gonna get a quirk reaction. That's what it kind of felt like. I'm like, y'all didn't have to drop that. Like
Crying at the screen.
Right.
That was a sad scene.
She's like, no, baby, you never will.
Sorry.
His mom's like, you better go get a regular job.
Did you give your grade?
But like your dad left because you were quirkless. Sorry, go ahead.
See, I'm kind of with Chris, where it's like I'm not. If it's Japanese, I'm not expecting diversity, so I don't really think about it. So I'm just the average passing grade, maybe but just passing, like because I don't expect to see any black people. So.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think it's more than just racial diversity, too.
Right?
Well, it's diversity.
But I mean,
it's diversity of characters. I mean, you also have, because I mean, pretty much, because I mean, you have also like class diversity. Like you don't have anybody.
That's true.
So far, other than Kage, really, who's not from this palace environment, so they all grew up in a similar space where they all belong to like a similar group of people.
Yeah,
I mean, the first villagers they come into contact with are when they're getting sliced up like meat.
Yeah, by Psycho Metal Face.
Yeah, exactly.
Psycho Face.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer.
I mean.
So, I mean, you don't have a lot of class diversity in the show. You don't have a lot of racial diversity in the show.
That's true.
I mean, within a kingdom like that, like you guys are saying, in a homogenous society, you're not going to have a lot of racial diversity. Right. But when you don't have racial diversity, there's other things that you can explore. So other than, obviously, the differently abled, you have, class diversity. You have different things that you can explore. Right.
Exactly. You don't think it's like we watch the first half of the first season type of thing?
I don't know where they're gonna go. That's gonna make it bigger than what it is. I think they're trying to.
Now, I mean, they're kind of, and I don't think it'll be like a super long. I think maybe it'll probably be they do the story in the way they're planning, maybe 30, 40 episodes max. Mm-hmm. So I don't think in the world they've built that it'll get much bigger than it already is. Because I mean, with Boji's strengths and the characters that you've already introduced. Like, it's not like Dragon Ball Z where you're like, oh, this nigga from outside the kingdom going to come in. Like,
I don't know. I feel like they said, because the big thing is it's the ranking of kings. So each king is ranked against a bunch of different kingdoms. So it gives them the opportunity then to explore all the other kingdoms where the kings are ranked.
I could see that.
Kings? Yeah, we've seen, 4. Has it been 4?
I counted.
Is it 3 or 4? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe 4 then.
Yeah.
No, 3.
No, more than that, because you got the demon princes.
Yes, I was gonna say.
You got the demon. You got the demon princes. You got the one dude, Kingbo or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You got Boji and Daida, so that's 5 already.
Oh well, I was counting them as 1 because they're one kingdom.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, ranking of kings, like, because I mean, if you're thinking of competition wise, like they're in competition with each other, so obviously they're both going to be contestants in that.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say, as far as diversity, they do have different creature class diversity. Like, because I think that's their
dogs,
quote unquote. No, because
when he went to the demon world,
when he went to the blonde dude kingdom, he was like, "Oh man, it's like all types of different people here."
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's their representation of different types of people. Are there different types of people?
Different kind of people
races
that
in the fantasy
whatever.
World.
So I don't know. And something like that is hard to judge.
Yeah.
Well,
D minus.
Yeah, D minus. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the ranking of this show. Cause get it, ranking of kings, but we're ranking this show.
I'm crying
because we all are kings, my brother, and queens.
Okay, all right. Okay.
It's hard. It's hard to rank the show high.
Somebody ranks it high. Let the high ranking one go first, then. Since she
I feel like you don't want to rank it high because I said that Odd Taxi and Ranking Kings are my top 2.
It isn't that. I just think about everything that makes a. We talk about this very, very early on. We'll revisit it at some point. The things that what make a good anime to me, and I think it has some of those elements in most of them in and of Boji, Kage's story, even Daida's kind of like not even gonna say redemption arc, but just his realization of like, oh man, I'm trash. Like I need to be doing this on my own merit.
Yeah.
So like I think it has some characters in there that have really beautiful stories. Even the stepmother as well, and kind of like her relationship with Boji, and then so it's a lot of things that I like, but it's kind of like what Jordan said. It's like if this. Will I continue to watch this? Maybe. I want to watch Arcane. I want to watch Attack on Titan. And if I gotta like watch all of those shows, will I come back to this in earnest? Like, you know, like I don't know. And if that's the case, I can't say it's fully bingeable, so I can't put it at a 9 or a 10. Right. But it's not terrible. It is very original. Like I've never watched any anime like this ever. Like, and I don't think I will ever. Like I don't think they'll make another one similar where it feels like this. It feels like Disney anime, if that makes sense. Like the animation style, like old Disney, like old kind of cartoons,
Mickey Mouse, like Steamboat Willie type.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Cuphead.
So yeah, in that case, only adjustable 6s. I think I'm gonna give it the adjustable 6, in saying that I love the fights scenes, even though they were like probably regular for like a person who would be like a shonen fan or something like that. I was very much fond of them because they always highlighted something in Boji, or they highlighted something in some of these other folks, or even Psycho Metal Face. Like I was like, this is. I need to see more of this. I need to see more of anime Jason Voorhees. Like I need to see more of what's going on here, because like that's what kept me. And the story was good, but I wish they would have kind of paced those fights a bit more frequently throughout. And then I would have been like, oh man, yeah, that's entertaining.
I think they'll get there though.
Yeah.
They're about to start a whole war.
That's what it looks like. So yeah, that's what I'm giving it a 6.
I think, like, story-wise, I enjoy the story. So I'd probably give it, like, an 8 for the story. But just the pacing, and then, like, other than, like, the handful, like, where Boji was sleeping niggas in the pub fight, like, other than that fight, which was hilarious.
I love the sound effect, too.
Yeah, exactly. It was, like, the soft sound when he punches. Yeah. Like, it was, like, the slightest of taps, and you hit that one right spot on his jaw. I think other than that fight, which was hilarious, the fights to me so far have just been really lackluster. He did. He caressed his jaw. That's a good, right. he was like,
I get knocked out.
Give me your consciousness. I don't know. I have been bored too much to rate it well, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching it in English because I didn't really care. Yeah. And then when there was no more English dub, I switched to Japanese. But
I couldn't find the Japanese dub for the first season, but maybe that's just me.
It was on Crunchyroll.
I couldn't find the Japanese dub for the first season on Crunchyroll. It like had every other language, but
it was like Russian, Portuguese, French. I was like Russian.
I did see that there was Russian. I was like, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of anime clips on YouTube do have like Russian.
Yeah. Apparently, anime be popping off in Russia. I'd say based on my level of boredom, I'd probably give it a 5.
Yeah.
Like story wise, like I said, probably an 8, but just overall engagement with the anime, 5, because I'm like Lance said, there's so many other things I want to watch.
I did put in the Discord. I was like, I feel like Jordan is going to tell me he hates this.
I don't hate it.
You don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it moderately.
Yeah.
Enjoy moderately.
I enjoyed it to the point where if it was on in the background while I'm doing something else, I would enjoy it.
So it's like Olive Garden when you don't got nowhere else to eat.
I like Olive Garden. What you talking about?
I like Olive Garden. That's what I'm saying. But I'm like, it's good.
Oh, you put Olive Garden on blast?
Moderate. It's moderate.
I mean, I'm not going to call it authentic Italian,
That's
but
what I'm saying. But it's good.
It's good. It tastes good. Like, come on, bro.
Like, I mean, I like
Bring the
Qdoba,
breadsticks
I
out.
guess.
Yeah,
Like,
I like Chipotle, even though it's Chipupu Mexican
I mean,
food.
Bel Air
right?
Cantina is good.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna go there for authentic Mexican food, but it still tastes good.
I'm not a Chipotle person.
I mean,
Chipotle? You don't like Chipotle?
I like both Qdoba and Chipotle.
Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
Qdoba give you chips.
A man with no
and the queso is
loyalty.
good.
Facts. What's your grade? I mean, your rating?
8.5. I like the story a lot.
High. Yeah.
I like the story a lot.
Yeah.
I like it because you get, even if you get, well, except for Jordan, you get attached to the characters.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, Boji's cute, and now he's got powers. Or, man, his mom's kind of a bitch. And, oh, no, she really loved us all. You know what I mean? It's like every character has that kind of dynamic to it. And I like that. I think that's a cool thing. And I like I said, I like the story.
Yeah.
And like you, I like the fight scenes because they're like quick, like 3-4 moves.
We talked about it. We had a conversation a long time ago about how like fights don't last long.
And they
like,
do that. So
like
You take a couple of hard shots. You're like, oh, I don't want to be
so
doing this no more.
even in like the first fight, it's like a nigga with a good sword you ain't gonna block him with a wood stick, like with a good sword, like and like had So, anyways, 8.5. I really like the story. I think I like the story.
Yeah.
So that's what I expected it to be because my sister likes it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the story. So it's that high. Third on my list. Animes.
I think I'm somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9. And it's because as y'all know, I love a good character. I love a deep character. And they've managed to do that with a lot of characters in it, where like even my favorite shonen, Hunter x Hunter, doesn't accomplish that for that many characters in the show. Like you don't get that much of a deep dive into people's motivations. A lot of shows, a lot of anime specifically rely a lot on tropes in order to like they're the dependable tropes, and they might have like a tragic story or whatever, but they never act outside of what they are, and they never really have like a deeper motivation or a complicated motivation, I'll say. Like they're just like slap it there. You could do this character in like 50 different kind of shows, but in this show they do such a good job like really making each of the characters like their own person, like a person that you could imagine. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like even like the mom, you can imagine that type of mom. Like the type of mom that's like got a new kid that she's got to learn how to communicate with, that has a disability, like she married into that. And then having her own kid and being afraid for both of them and trying to figure out how do you protect your children. You have Boji, who understands his limitations but wants to accomplish more than what people think he's capable of, and his struggle to do that. You have Daida, who learns through the mandate to protect his little brother that his little brother is weak and learns to despise weakness as a whole. And then his struggle to understand that everyone's weak. Yeah. And in that including moment. Himself, you know, like that, like is so like, yes, like, you know, people are learning these like really deep, hard things, and I love that. Yeah, and like it's him, adorable. That's also a thing.
When he was crying in the Upside Down, you could see him coming to grips with his own weakness. Yeah,
and it's like just moments before that, he had made the realization like, I'm weak right now, but I can get stronger on my own. Right. Moments before, like he made the right choice. But it's like, it's too late. Yeah. You made the right choice too late. Yeah. You had so many other chances to make the right decision, and you didn't. And who cares if you want to do the right thing now? It's too late. So like him having to deal with that. Like, and they do that with a lot, even with the dad, who I think is ass. But even with him, he's like, I have put myself in this situation where I'm literally like feeding off of my own offspring, which when I'm young and dumb and just want to be powerful and great doesn't mean much to me. But now that my children are here, I feel terrible and I wish there was a way out of this, but I'm too deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
especially the mirror wasn't gonna let you out of this.
No, even
at all.
Even Mirage.
That's why he gave in. Yeah.
She has a whole thing about like the way she looks and this idea of like being looked down upon. And I feel that's why she hates Boji so much. Because it would have been simple to take over Boji and whatever, like have him be that person.
Right.
But like I think there's something in him that she sees that she hates so much that I'm really interested for the series to explore.
Well, because he's disabled and people like him.
Huh? What?
He's disabled, but
people,
nobody. There's no uprising.
Where she's disabled and people
and
ostracized her, they hated her,
Yeah.
and it becomes a part of her motivation of why she does things. So I think I really love like that they're doing that with like even the ponytail bitch ass nigga. Like
No
he
redemption.
has his shit, and I'll be interested to see how they dive into that. The most down nigga in the world, the other little puffy ponytail nigga that was with him, that it was like, you killed Boji right in front of me. Like, I can't go back to the queen alive. What are you saying? But yeah, just different stuff like that. Like, I'm interested to see where it goes. So I'm 8.5 or 9.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's all right. Hey, man. But I did enjoy this show. I did enjoy watching it. We'll see how it pans out. And I'll try to squeeze it in between all of my stuff.
I gotta catch up on Demon Slayer. I started watching Bleach.
I fell off of Demon Slayer. I fell off
not impressed so far.
My Hero.
Like 10 in. How far do I gotta get?
That's not far enough.
How far do I?
You're still in the very first arc where he's figuring out his powers, and that's.
But he figured out the first episode.
No, he didn't. He stumbled on some powers. It gets different. It gets a little different.
It's different.
It's like.
Stick with it. You won't regret it.
Yeah, no, for real. You got to get through it because you appreciate the story.
That's what some people didn't like about Demon Slayer when it first came out, because it was like, so he just knows how to do shit.
That was my issue with it. But it's like, wait, you OP
You just know how to do
a couple
shit.
episodes in.
People trained their whole lives. Everybody else in this trained a real long time to learn how to do shit, and you just know how to do shit.
I think that's why the even the movie and even the arc before the train joint, and you see the overpowered captain. I forget his name.
Which one? The fire dude?
Yeah, the fire guy or whatever. You see him turn up, and you're like, you're nowhere close to that. you need a little bit more work. Yeah, a lot more work. And you're like, oh, I thought I could do something. So I think
that's why I like Fire Force, because they start off knowing how to do shit, but they preface that I am here after studying for the last 4 years.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right. Like,
exactly.
So of course I know how to do
That's
shit.
another one I gotta start.
And then they have
Fire
Force
Force
too.
is
So
legit, bro.
it's
Don't know if you're gonna like Fire Force like that.
but it's alright though.
I think
Like
you'll enjoy
the action is alright. Anyways,
I think you'll enjoy
gotta
it,
get out of
but
here.
it won't be.
So this was I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to run us over the time that I said that we were gonna be under, but it's okay. I enjoy.
We're enjoying each other's company
for sure.
The 3-4 best friends that anyone can have.
If you are good with Chris's singing blurbs, and if you laughed at any point in this show, if you want to be a part of the conversation, leave us a comment. Hop in the Discord. That link is below as well. Leave us a message. If you disagree with anything we said, you're like, I don't think y'all rating on this or what y'all talked about was fair at all. Go watch the show first. If you haven't listened to this, we spoiled everything for you anyways. But y'all know the slogan. Stay colorful. Peace.